Good afternoon, everybody. This is Adam Small with the Agent Sauce Real Estate Marketing Podcast, and with me, as always, is Doug Carr of DK New Media. Hi, Doug.
How are you, sir?
Doing good today. Doing good. Glad it's a Friday. So, kind of this week, I've been doing a lot of work on marketing and ramping up our own marketing and looking at a lot of marketing out there, and I thought it would be a really fun idea to talk about marketing pet peeves.
Ooh.
These are, things that you look at when you see it. It's not stuff that you put together, hopefully, but when you see it, that
we have.
yeah, everybody does, right?
Yeah.
So, but things that you see and you just go, why, and why are you doing this? So I thought it'd be kind of a fun topic to discuss and hopefully help point out some things for other people.
Yeah, I like this idea.
Okay. So, we'll go ahead and start off with, something that I'm a stickler for, honestly, is spelling and grammar.
Oh.
I cannot tell you how many times I get a piece in the mail or go to a conference even, and there's a great big giant banner, and it's got a misspelling in it, or they're using the wrong word. They're using, there as in over there instead of there as in theirs, or your instead of you are, it's just insane. It just really sits ill with me. I hate to see it. It just makes me cringe.
Well, and that's the thing is, like, some people aren't bothered by it, but some people really are bothered by it, and that's the problem. Is how many people in your audience are you alienating when you make a mistake like that? And so here's my tip on that one.
Okay.
Because I do it all the time.
I know. I read your blog.
Well, hold on a second. So
you've gotten a lot better about it. Let's stop there.
And why have I gotten a lot better?
Because you started
using Grammarly.
Exactly.
So that's a platform basically that every time I'm writing, and the nice thing about it is it's not just spelling and grammar, but they actually do ask you, like, did you mean to say there or there?
Right.
And so it even kind of predicts the most common mistakes and helps you through them, which I really like.
Right. So that's one of my marketing pet peeves. What about you, Doug? What's one of yours?
I got to tell you, the biggest pet peeve of mine is dear percent square bracket first name.
So merge tags failing.
Yeah, merge tags failing on email are probably my... And here's the reason why is you're taking the step to try to add some personalization, and it's obvious that you're doing it through automation.
Right.
So it's like a double whammy. It's not just that you made...
You're telling me I wasn't important enough for you to reach out directly.
Yeah.
And you didn't even pay enough attention to make sure it came out right.
Well, it's almost like hey, Doug, I am faking that I'm talking to you personally.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So that's my biggest pet peeve is when I get an email and it says dear first name or dear blank or hi blank, I just instantly I'm turned off.
But is that really a failure on the individual's part, or is it a failure of the marketing automation machine?
Well, and that's a really good point. Like the marketing automation team, if it had like a default setting or it told you needed it or whatever,
right,
it would be a much better solution.
Well, and to your point, one of the things that I've run into with that, in particular with our marketing automation and with our email marketing with the merge tags, is the concept of hi and then leaving a blank, right? Or a space and then a comma because the name wasn't actually there and all that. So, you create the marketing engine, the automation engine should actually have a merge tag that includes all of it or none of it.
Yeah.
You know, and it should also have a system that goes through and replaces that merge tag with nothing if it's there and blank. So if I didn't have your first name, it would say, hey, it'd just say, look, I'm just going to get rid of that altogether.
Hello, customer.
Exactly. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's, and I think it's because someone's trying to get personal with me. I can't even think of an analogy, like walking up to you and saying, hey, Bob. I'm Adam.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, Adam.
Yeah, I remember now.
And so that's probably the worst on there.
Okay.
And I think the lesson there is data cleanliness, right? If you want, I think all of the stats show throughout the internet that personalization is really a way to increase, results. And so things like showing, it could be for real estate, agents showing images from their area, showing their houses instead of stock, showing, stuff like that personalize the message. And all of those are proven to lift click-through rates, open rates, and everything else.
Right.
And so you just got to make sure that when you're collecting data in your CRM, that you're filling out all of the details.
Fill in as much information as you can, because that enables you to then be much more personal with that data later on, right?
And then keeping it accurate.
Yeah. So garbage in, garbage out.
Yep.
So
absolutely.
Okay, great. That's a great one. One that I hadn't even thought of as we were, talking about doing this podcast. So that's a great one. One that gets me is dealing with customers on our end that are getting into marketing and automation is what I like to kind of call the marketing sprint, right? Where they step up and they do a whole bunch of stuff all at once. There's this huge flurry of activity, and then a month later they're done.
Ooh.
They do nothing else, and for me, marketing is not a sprint. It's not. You can do a whole lot at once if you want, but you have to continuously be doing something in order to generate new leads, new opportunities, or it's just going to die off, you know? So that's one that I hate to see. A great example is we'll get customers that cancel after about 6 months, and we'll ask them why, and they'll say, well, it just didn't work for us. And I'll go, okay, well, I'm sorry to hear that. I understand. And then I go and I look at their account because I want to see what they were doing and see if we can improve the system.
Right.
And I see that they put in 25 contacts over a 6-month period.
Yeah.
They actually put them all in at once at the first time.
Right.
And they didn't do anything else after that,
Right.
They didn't add to their contacts so that their emails could go out to a wider base. They didn't update their contact information. They didn't send their own emails. They didn't do anything.
It's like after New Year's when you buy the gym membership.
Right. You go 2 months and then you're done.
And then you complain to the gym, hey, your gym isn't working for me.
Exactly, right?
Well, when's the last time that you showed up?
So that marketing sprint, if you're going to be in a business, especially real estate, you have to market yourself. You have to put yourself out there. You have to be constantly doing something to gain new leads, because you can't tell me that you expect to make a living off of having 25 contacts in your database.
Right.
It's just not going to work. So, do the marathon, don't do the sprint.
Yeah, I totally agree. And it's a momentum game anyways.
Right.
Right. So you put in 25 when you first went into the system, but then, each month you're putting in, 10 more, 10 more, 10 more. You're increasing the likelihood that people are going to respond over time. And that's ultimately what you want. And so we talk about this with, whether you're writing content on your site, that periodically just pace yourself. Like, you don't have to sit there and write a blog post every single day,
right?
But maybe once every 2 weeks to start. Right. Take it easy on yourself, but do it every 2 weeks.
Pick a frequency, pick a pattern or a time frame that is going to work for you, right? Establish yourself, get into that habit, and then try to increase it and do better, do more.
Yeah.
But get into the habit first and make sure that it's a continuous thing.
Yeah, because if you did it once every 2 weeks, that's 26 articles out there. That's 26 articles times X number of keyword combinations that could get you found on search engines or whatever.
Right.
Now, if you switch to once a week, you just doubled that. You doubled the opportunity for someone to find you.
Right. So yeah, good. You're up.
I'm up?
Yeah, you're up.
Oh, man. I think we've talked about a lot about this in the past few podcasts. But measurement, actually taking and seeing what's working and when it's working. I'll give a couple examples. I was talking to one entrepreneur in town, and he said, the only thing I ever do anymore is Facebook ads because that's the only thing that works. And I said, wow, really? That's incredible. Because, if you're doing advertising, that's typically that's a high cost, per lead.
Right. You're putting money out every single time.
Yeah. And if you stop it, the leads stop.
Exactly.
And so I said, so what other things have you done? And he goes, well, that's really it.
So that's all he's doing because that's all that worked, but he never tried anything else.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And so, I mean, the lesson there is that, and we all do it to some extent. If I like sending email, I'm going to send more email.
Right.
If I like Facebook ads, I'm going to send more Facebook ads. The problem is that it's not about us.
Right.
It's about our audience and where they are. And some people do like Facebook. Some people like video. Some like video on Facebook. Some like mobile text messages. Some people, and that's the problem with that thinking is you can't convert your favorite to what your audience is expecting.
Right.
If you don't like going and reading a blog post, you're never going to go read a blog post.
Right.
But maybe you'll watch a video. So I have to create videos whether I like it or not.
Right. So one day we're going to be doing videos of the podcast in here too.
We will be, absolutely.
So yeah, but your point is well taken in that you have to kind of go where your clients, your leads, your opportunities are instead of hoping to pull them into you.
And for people listening, that sounds easy. It's not.
No, it's
right?
not.
But there's ways that like we're talking about is we can videotape this podcast. That's one way of us building some efficiency into it, is that we don't have to go do a podcast and then go do a video.
Right, because we get the audio from the podcast, we get the video from the podcast, and then if we're really smart about it, we would probably sit down and write a blog post about the podcast.
And you're writing notes right now.
Yes, I am.
And that's exactly it.
That's actually time markers, so I know what we're talking about. And I can post that on the blog post when I put it out.
That's awesome.
So yeah. So one thing I wanted to say about that too, right, was that at the same time when you say, well, you're only doing Facebook, you should be doing something else. Don't jump in and do everything else all at once, right? Continue to do what's working for you. So if Facebook's working for you, keep doing that. Yeah. Just devote a little bit of time to
80,
something
20,
else, right?
80-20 rule.
Right. So, a little bit to something else and get that working for you, or decide that it's not going to work for you. Use measurement and then move on and add something else. And then you end up with a nice, well-rounded marketing engine working for you instead of a very narrow silo of lead opportunities.
Love it.
So,
and I'd say maybe this is another pet peeve to follow that up is don't try to become an expert. There's experts out there. And so what I'm getting at with that is, let's say Google AdWords, you got the 100 and I think it's up to 300 now. You got the $300 coupon to go spend money on ads on search engine pages.
Right.
If you go do that without any knowledge of how it works, that $300 will be gone in seconds.
Right. Doesn't take long.
And the thing is there's professionals out there that are that literally they will sit and watch your account every single hour, push it to avoid some sites, push it into other keywords that are attracting more attention. And the result, especially for a real estate agent, if you, and I'm going to make up some numbers, but let's say you spent $500 a month on AdWords and you got someone to manage that for you. I'm going to guess that maybe you're going to spend $100, a couple $100, maybe to have someone manage that kind of, but the results might be 3 times, 4 times what you would get yourself.
Right.
And so it's a great return on investment to go hire a professional to do it for you. If you go do it yourself to save money, what you're really doing is ruining the chances for it to actually work.
Good advice. Very good advice.
I can come up with another one if you want.
No, I've got a whole list of things here.
Nice. You've got a lot of pet peeves, huh?
I do, yes. I'm a very angry person apparently. So yeah, no. One that kind of tags into your measurement thing, as we were talking about it, the guy's doing the one thing, the Facebook thing and all that. A peeve for me is the silver bullet mindset too, right?
Yeah, we talked about that.
We had a podcast on that earlier, right? And, and that's basically the concept of, I'm going to do this one thing and this one thing only, and it's going to make me super rich.
Well, you got a lot of marketers telling you that out there too.
Exactly. And it's just not going to work.
Right.
One thing is not going to make you super rich.
Well, we see it all the time that we'll just put it out there. Some people are terrible on video.
Right.
So don't do it.
Got a face made for radio, right?
But no, they might stutter, or they might just be twitchy. They might be really uncomfortable. And the thing is then don't do it.
Right.
Just rely on your other methods that work better. We want people to try everything and see what kind of results they get. We'd love people to give it, hire a professional, but not everybody has that money, but hire a professional to help with each one of those things. But the fact is if you stink at it, don't do it.
Stop. Move on. Go somewhere else and do something else.
Exactly.
Right. So exactly. So, all right. Here's a personal favorite of mine, and I avoid getting into discussions with people about it because it's just such a misunderstood topic, and it's SEO. Right.
I have one for SEO.
Oh, do you? Good. I've got one for SEO too, but you go right ahead.
Homepage.
Okay.
You look up someone's site and the title of their site is homepage.
As opposed to?
The title of their site.
Exactly. So
the default settings on a lot of content management systems, set the homepage as home.
Right.
And so the problem is that you're competing with 4 billion other pages called home, and Google has no clue what your page is about, who you are, or anything.
So maybe you should say, Indianapolis homes for sale.
Exactly.
Or, I mean, that's even a kind of a generic term, which is probably well ranked for a lot of other things, but something specific to you and your area and what you're doing. Right?
And it's important that we tell people when we're saying homepage, when we're saying title, we're not talking about the text that's within the body of the page. You can have the page called Indianapolis, homes for sale. What we're talking about is if you look at your tab on the browser,
right?
What does your tab actually say? Because that's what's in the title tags of the page, and that's what the search engines are going to pick up and index.
Right.
And the title tag is absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, the most impactful piece of content on that page for search engines to index the site.
It's that important.
Yes, absolutely.
Good thing to know, right?
Yep.
So for me with SEO, it's a mistaken concept that there is a hard and fast formula that if I can just tweak that page just right on my site, tweak my site just right with this formula, then I'm going to rank number one for everything with my 5 or 7 page site.
Right, because Google's, who has spent billions of dollars in intellectual property, in intellectual
R&D,
and they hire mathematicians and physicists, are going to make it as easy as mentioning the keyword 6 times within your content.
Exactly. So,
no, those days are
long
gone.
Right.
And so we keep telling. We had someone in here the other day, and they said so. How many times on average should I, mention the keyword? And I said, as many times as is comfortable within the conversation.
Right.
And they were like, won't Google pick it up better if we mention the keyword more times? And I said, here's the trouble, is if you're writing for a search engine, then you're not writing for the search engine user. And so if you want to rank your site really high, you have to write remarkable content. People have to mention it. People have to point to it in order for it to rank high. Well, if you just have a paragraph and you mention something 6 times and you bold the words or you put it in a heading and you repeat it multiple times, the first thing I'm going to do is go, ugh, and I'm not going to share it with anybody.
Right.
And so what you're doing is you're defeating your own purpose there. And so we like to tell people, make remarkable content, put a great image in it, joke around in your content, make it entertaining. That will get your stuff shared.
Exactly. And I kind of liken it to having a conversation, right? When I'm having a conversation with you, I don't say, "Hi, Doug, how you doing?" "Well, Doug, tell me about this." And Doug, "Oh, you know what, Doug, you're so funny." And Doug, right? It just doesn't work.
As an Indianapolis real estate agent.
Right.
I go to the Indianapolis real estate agent website and I post my homes in the Indianapolis real estate section. Yeah.
It just it just doesn't work like that,
No, not anymore.
And
it used to.
Right.
For anybody listening, if you have an old school SEO guy, they're going to argue with us, and that's fine. They don't rank, so it doesn't matter.
There you go. Yeah. So that's one of the things I run into quite a bit, and I have that conversation. It seems like at least once a quarter with somebody, where I finally just have to go, well, you know what? If it's working for you, great.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you can't argue.
And ultimately, here's the thing: is SEO isn't about ranking. SEO is about taking an organic search visitor and turning them into a customer. And so I don't care if your website is ranked number 1 for 800 terms.
Right.
If you're not getting any business off it,
if it's not converting, it doesn't do you any good.
So you can play all these games you want to try to, cheat your way to the top of the search engines, and maybe perhaps you have 10 years of legacy and backlinks and everything that'll produce that, but it's still not converting. And that's ultimately what, your SEO guy should be interested in. Are you getting business off of this?
Right. If
you're not getting business off of it, it doesn't matter where you rank.
You can lead that horse to water, but you can't force him to drink. And if he's not going to drink, then it's just not going to do you any good, no matter what you're doing, right?
And consumers are really smart nowadays, right?
Yeah.
We look at the top 3 on the page, then we scroll to the bottom of the page and we see the bottom one on the page, typically. Mm-hmm. Then we see the top 2 on the next page, and so we're going to compare everybody anyways.
Right.
So.
Right. Yeah. So, great. One last pet peeve, Doug?
I've got one.
Okay.
Yeah. Some things really work well that just aren't exciting. And what I mean by that is a perfect one is mobile text messaging, right? It's not sexy.
Not anymore.
Yeah. It's just not sexy, right?
Right.
And it's not... if you go read any marketing website, there's not a ton of information about it or anything else. But today, it has absolutely the highest reading rate,
right,
and the highest redemption rate of any medium whatsoever. And so I think that we have a real problem in our industry with marketers who, run to Snapchat or something.
Mm-hmm.
If you spent as much time building a cute little video on Snapchat and posting it one-to-one to all of your prospects, if you spent that time instead really doing a good offer on a text message,
mm-hmm.
you get 100 times the response rate.
Right.
I don't care what anybody says. And so it goes back to the silver bullet thing, but a lot of things are just in the news and they're plastered all over these websites, and agencies latch onto them because it's something new. But the fact is those tried and true techniques still aren't bad. We have clients that still do direct mail every once in a while.
Right.
We have clients you have.
Yeah. Actually, print is seeing a resurgence in real estate right now. It seems like, because in the end, it is effective. If it's done right, it's a great farming tool. It's a great touch tool just to remind somebody, hey, I'm a realtor, touch me, call me when it's time.
You think about how busy your inbox is compared to how busy your mailbox is.
Right.
In a mailbox, I'm getting, I don't think we got any mail in here today.
Right.
So if I had one piece of direct mail, it would have gotten 100% of my attention.
Right.
Whereas when I look at my email, I have 90 new emails.
Exactly.
So I'm just delete. So, I would really encourage people to not, listen to the, what's the word? There's a word for it.
I'm on naysayers,
I'm on a podcast. I should know words.
Well, we'll forgive you this time. So,
but that big shiny thing, the thing that's
don't
just
go chasing the shiny objects or silver bullets or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, because in the end, marketing is like anything else. If you put effort into it, you're going to get a result from it. There's no shortcut to that. You have to put effort into it, and in order to get results out of it. So.
We know attorneys in town that still get billboard calls.
Yeah,
they still get them.
Why? Because they're putting billboards out there.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Because they work.
Yeah,
right.
And so it's just not you want to test and measure and see what your results are, and then base your decisions not off of your own opinions or the next marketing guru that you saw a speech in. You really want to base your, and that's, I don't want to say all that saying don't believe anything the marketers say. We do have significant changes in customer behavior with the way that we watch TV, the way that we listen to things, all of that.
Right.
So things are changing, but all we're saying is that there are some tried and true techniques that still work very well.
Well, and it comes back to the concept of the narrow bullet and the sprint. They all kind of tie in together with that, right?
Yeah.
And even your Facebook thing where the guy's doing just one thing. You know what? Try other things. Do what works and add to it.
Exactly.
And keep adding to it. And when something stops working, either tweak it and make it work again, or say, look, it's not going to work for me. I'm going to go on and do other things. And if you're measuring, then it's working and or that it's not working, and you know why. So, all right. Hey, great podcast today, Doug. Really enjoyed it. If you guys want to learn more, you can contact us at info@agentsauce.com or visit us online at agentsauce.com. Thanks.